Since the dawn of time, man has searched this planet for the rare and the exotic. In our age, none has been more diligent than Professor Ludwig van Hafschaft. And it was earlier this year, while deep in the countryside, that he made what was perhaps his most remarkable discovery, a previously unrecognized tribe. We're privileged to join him as he first observes the strange behavior patterns of the lesser-known grass dicer. The Players No. 6 Autocross Championship was organised within the area of the East Midlands Association of Motor Clubs and drew competitors from all over Britain. With 8 classes and a wide variety of machinery, the large crowds were guaranteed plenty of excitement. Autocross requires a special skill. For not only does the driver have to cope with all the curves, bends and hairpins of a racing circuit, but also the variations in the track surfaces. He may find himself on grass, or dust, or even mud. The principle is the same, whatever the conditions. The fastest man against the clock takes the prize. But you must stay on the course, or penalties will put you out of the money. If you do lose yourself and wander further into the countryside than the organisers intended, then there's nothing solid to hit. Only the odd marker flag, and the only thing you're likely to hurt is your pride. It may look easy, but by the end of round 1, a glance at the results showed that the margin between good and very good was only a fraction of a second on the watches. And so on to round 2. When your total day's motor racing amounts to something in the region of 5 minutes on the track, it's vital that the machinery is brought to the line with everything screwed on properly. But accidents will happen, and when a Mini takes leave of its front wheel, the spectators have to be a bit nimble on their feet. As does our photographer when they start throwing cars at him. That's the safest place to be, driving the duplicator. So, away with the flags, and out with the cars for the next round. A familiar number and a familiar driver too, Peter Westbury, retained at enormous expense. Yes, Peter, you'll find the coupons inside. He was second fastest in practice, but all the others had cars. Every autocross track is different, and this was no exception. Drivers found themselves faced with the most difficult problem of all, bumps. Overworked suspension, proving that bottoming is not just something you get on an Italian tram. All this was too much for the rear tyre on a Sprigget. He'll have to pull into the paddock. But no, our hero, undaunted by such a trifling detail, embarks on lap 2. Championship leader Bertie Sayers shows in springing just how important it is to get the right rate for the job. And rally maestro Roger Clarke treats the whole thing like a motorway. Results show that his is the right approach, and you can't argue with figures. But it's back to the motor cars and on with the next round. Switch down. Button down. To make life really difficult, it rained. Everybody started spinning. But it's quite easy. If you leave the course, just get back on again and start again. Front or rear wheel drive, there's little difference in this weather. Perhaps you should go back for some wet weather tires. And if that doesn't work, make yourself really popular. Block the track. Hello, here comes a protest. But it's time to go. So, naturally, the sun comes out. Meanwhile, oh, never mind. And at the next event, it's the mixture as before. Glutinous mud with a nice little downpour stirred in to make things really dodgy. So away with the racers and over to the next spot on the map, where the cast is preparing for another battle against the clock. That's a new idea, an inflatable Mini. Or would you prefer an 8-wheeled Mini? After a failure in practice, championship leader Sayers starts a frenzied rebuild to get his car to the line, while others only need minor adjustments, or perhaps only a pair of lead boots. Nowadays, the commentator only mimes the commentary. All the chat is piped up from a bottle. As the time runs get underway, Sayers has it all screwed together, and rally champion Roger Clarke gives another virtuoso performance round the circuit. To have a go? Come inside and hang on. If you must run off the track, it's no use trying to deny it if you tow the evidence along behind you. And as we put the car back into road trim, this little chap doesn't see why he shouldn't get into the game too and break up the machinery just like the grown-ups. So the paddock empties, with only the final round ahead to decide the championship. Heading north for the culmination of a season's racing, the 7-litre Thunderbird engine player's van potters up the A1, and from his own aircraft, Peter Westbury gets a bird's eye view of the track during practice. Back at the track, competitors unwrap their cars for the deciding round. All we need are the officials. Get fill in. You should see him at work on a wall. And there's just time to shave a few flowers off the head. You just can't leave your car for a second these days, can you? There are many uses for an egg. You can put them in your radiator to stop a leak, or you can stamp a little lion on them and drive around. The Ogle Mini is one of the fastest eggs in the business, and Kerridge is heading for a class win through his consistently fast driving. The MG of Howitt, also a class leader, pulls off with a broken roll bar. More drama as Roger Clarke comes through with smoke pouring from the Cortina. Howitt battles to repair the MG, and Clarke's brother takes the non-smoker round on the limit. As Howitt races against time to bring the MG to the line, we take time off to look over the shoulder of Bertie Sayers as he takes his winning special round the track. John Akers in the TVR puts himself in the top bracket as the final draws to its close. We find out Roger Clarke's formula for success.
Literally, once the car is set up sideways, to hold the steering wheel on opposite lock, steady, and steer it with your throttle. You put your foot down more, the back will come out more. If you take it off, it'll come back in.
By the end of the day, the traffic had churned up the faster bends, and life is hard if one happens to be a set of tyres. That is, if you can keep them on the ground. And that was the first of the Players' No. 6 Autocross Championships. As we watch the last Mini round the last bend, we must come back to earth and congratulate all those drivers whose skill led them to a prize, and all those others who, though not in the money, still provided thrills and drama for the crowds who came to watch. In particular, Bertie Sayers, the outright winner, who, though a grandfather, built his own car and showed the youngsters how to succeed in the fast world of autocross. With some satisfaction, our champion goes home. But before you go home, see if you can spot next year's champion. And remember, folks, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em.